Have you noticed your weight dropping without trying? Or maybe you're finding yourself too tired to finish basic tasks, things you used to do so easily? If you've said yes to any of that, then this conversation is one you cannot take lightly. Because if we don't look closely at these early indicators, we might miss the most important chance we still have. A chance to hold on to life. A chance to extend it with peace and power. But if we act now, even quietly, we might live beyond what anyone expects. Let's begin. There's something deeply unsettling I've witnessed in many of my older patients, people I've walked with through seasons of strength and slow decline. They never knew that the year before death often whispers. It doesn't shout, it creeps in, and what's most painful, it rarely announces itself with a grand collapse. Instead, it shows up as very small things. Loss of appetite, sudden withdrawal from family dinners, a long nap that turns into hours of lying still, a cough that simply doesn't go away, and often we all mistake it for just getting older. But sometimes it's not just aging, it's a final chapter that begins quietly. Let me walk you through what I've seen, what research supports, and more importantly, what you can do to protect yourself or someone you love. The first sign is something almost everyone ignores: drastic or subtle weight loss without a deliberate effort. You didn't change your diet, you're not working out, but your pants are suddenly loose and your shirts sag off your shoulder. I've seen patients lose 10–15 pounds over 3 months and still say, "I feel fine." But here's what's really happening. Your body may be failing to absorb nutrients. Your muscle mass may be declining, a condition known as sarcopenia. Your organs might not be cooperating as they used to. If you're seeing this in yourself or your partner, the first thing I need you to do is ask your doctor for a full blood panel. And please, don't settle for a basic checkup. Ask specifically for albumin levels, indicator of protein malnutrition, vitamin B12, folate, CRP, C-reactive protein for inflammation, liver enzymes, renal function, CBC, with differential, hemoglobin A1C. These numbers don't lie, and many elders who were dangerously close to system shutdown had wildly off values in just 1 or 2 of these. But weight isn't just about the numbers on the scale. Ask yourself, are you eating with joy anymore? Do meals feel like a burden or like medicine you have to swallow? If so, your emotional health, not just your physical one, may be failing. And both of these, when neglected together, accelerate decline very silently. Second, let's talk about energy. Not just feeling sleepy after meals. I'm referring to crushing fatigue. When the walk from the bed to the kitchen feels like a mountain trek. When sitting up for 2 hours exhausts you so much that you need another nap. That is not normal. That is not just aging. And it is not to be tolerated. You may be dealing with cardiac inefficiency, thyroid issues, anemia, chronic inflammatory conditions, undiagnosed sleep apnea, and the sad truth? Most of these are reversible or manageable if you catch them in time. Here's something I always recommend. Wear a smartwatch or a fitness tracker for just 7 days. Track your steps, sleep cycles, heart rate variability, resting heart rate. If your resting heart rate is climbing above 85, or your sleep is fragmented with multiple wake-ups every night, that's not just inconvenience. That's a flashing red signal. I want to tell you about Miss Doyle, 79, living in a quiet retirement flat. Her son gifted her a cheap $30 watch. It showed she was only sleeping 3.5 hours a night. Within 6 months, she was hospitalized, not for insomnia, but for heart failure. Because her body couldn't rest enough to restore. If her son hadn't acted, she might not have made it. Let's move to another sign: sudden loss of interest in life. Not depression in the classical sense, but something more subtle, a gentle shutting down. You stop opening the curtains. You skip your favorite radio show. You don't respond to texts as quickly. Your hobby, be it knitting, fixing radios, reading the newspaper, no longer brings excitement. This emotional withdrawal is a deadly signal, one that often marks the beginning of the body giving up. The mind loses desire, and the body follows. We see this in terminal patients, but also in elders without a terminal diagnosis. They start turning inward, growing quiet, and within 6 to 12 months, health collapses. Please don't ignore. If you see this in someone, or feel it creeping into yourself, don't rush to therapy immediately. Start gently. Sit in the sun for 15 minutes daily. Listen to music you loved as a teenager. Call one old friend a week. Start a 3-minute gratitude diary at bedtime. Read aloud from a book you loved in your youth. These things bring life back. Not all at once, but slowly, they wake up something the body had started to bury. Now let's talk bowel changes. Not exciting, I know, but critical. If you experience persistent constipation, new onset diarrhea, alternating stool patterns, blood in stool, abdominal bloating without reason, unexplained nausea, these could be early signs of digestive failure, polyps, cancer, or silent inflammation. What most people don't know is the gut is deeply connected to immunity and aging. The gut is our second brain, but unlike the real brain, this one shows its decay in silent, smelly, and sometimes hidden ways. Please, I beg of you, any of these symptoms for more than 2 weeks, do not wait. Ask for a stool test, a colonoscopy. Yes, even if your 80 modern anesthesia is gentle. And request these in blood work, ESR, calprotectin, fecal occult blood, and change your diet accordingly. For constipation, cooked prunes, soft pears, chia seeds soaked overnight, and warm fennel tea. For loose bowels, steamed sweet potato, turmeric-rich broth, rice porridge. Always choose cooked over raw at this age. Your gut flora needs softness, not struggle. Now I'll walk you into one of the most misjudged signs. Unexplained bruises and wounds that take weeks to heal. That dark purple patch on the arm, that scratch from the side of the table that doesn't fade for a month. This is your circulatory system and skin integrity crying for help. Your capillaries are thinner, your blood viscosity may be off. Platelet count, clotting factors, vitamin K, D, zinc, they all matter. You might be sitting on a blood thinner that's overdoing its job. Ask your doctor for a clotting profile, check platelet count, and eat foods rich in vitamin K, spinach, asparagus, lightly steam, avocado, vitamin C, guava, kiwi, amla, zinc, soaked pumpkin seeds, cashews, collagen, chicken broth, fish skin or hydrolyzed powder. These help your skin hold together and heal like it once did. Also check the healing timeline of small cuts or bug bites. If a mosquito bite stays swollen 7 days later, that's a flag. I'll tell you something you'll rarely hear on any channel. The body prepares itself to go, and in doing so it starts reducing its repair effort. It stops investing energy in fighting small things, and that's when these signs appear. What can help? Short walks in early morning light. 30 deep belly breaths twice a day, warm oil massages, even self-massage, touch and stimulation signal the body I'm still alive, I still want to be here. Another sign that quietly whispers from within the body is the growing imbalance. A slight stagger in your step, a loss of confidence while walking across familiar floors. You might notice yourself avoiding stairs, choosing chairs with arms so you can push yourself up, or hesitating before rising. These are not just mechanical issues, they are neurological warnings. What's really happening beneath this physical hesitation is a subtle degradation in proprioception, the body's sense of space and balance, often linked to weakened nerve signaling, inner ear changes, or decreased muscle coordination. When these signals dull, falls begin. And we know this. A single fall in the elderly with a fractured hip carries a 1-year mortality risk, as high as 30%. Not from the injury itself, but from the cascade of complications that follow: immobility, pneumonia, blood clots, depression. What you must understand is that balance is not a singular skill, it's a system. It includes muscle strength, especially legs and hips, core stability, vision clarity, joint flexibility, vestibular, inner ear function, reaction speed from the brain. So, what can you do to strengthen this system before it fails? Begin with 3 things, all of which can be done at home. Heel-to-toe walking for 5 minutes daily along a hallway, hands close to the wall, standing on one leg with support for 10 seconds at a time. Chair squats, slowly lowering and raising yourself 5 times twice a day, using a stable chair. Add omega-3 rich foods, like ground flax seeds, walnuts, and light fish twice a week, to support nerve health. Ensure vitamin D levels are above 30 and excel. Without it, muscle control declines sharply. Also include magnesium from soaked almonds or banana, and B-complex supplements if fatigue persists. If you wear bifocal glasses, ask your optometrist to review your prescription for fall safety, as vision and balance are deeply intertwined. And always wear shoes with gripping soles. Never flat, worn-out slippers inside the house. Let's go even deeper now. Another early and often overlooked warning sign is what I call conversational slipping. This is not full-blown dementia. It's when a person begins repeating stories more often, forgets what they ate yesterday, leaves the stove on but remembers they left it on 2 hours later, starts searching for the right words more frequently, stalling mid-sentence, or becomes unusually quiet in group settings, not from shyness, but because the pace of thought can't match the conversation anymore. This is called mild cognitive impairment, MCI. Nearly 15 to 20% of people over age 60, and of those, a significant number transition to Alzheimer's or another form of dementia within a year. It is the most critical stage to act, because unlike full dementia, here we still have power. What helps protect the brain at this stage? Sleep. The deepest kind. 7-8 hours of uninterrupted rest, where glymphatic fluid can clear the debris from your brain. No TV in bed, no heavy food after sunset. No caffeine after noon. Mental stimulation, not games alone but real-life learning. Try memorizing small duas, poems, names of your childhood classmates. Recall your childhood home layout with full detail. These aren't just memories, they're workouts. Social engagement. Isolation speeds up decline. Make a rule to speak to at least one different person each day, even a store clerk. Nutrition. Your brain is 60% fat, so feed it wisely. Add walnuts, 5 per day soaked overnight. Desi ghee or olive oil in meals, not hydrogenated oil. Turmeric with black pepper and warm milk at night. Blueberries or pomegranate daily for antioxidants. Light fish, like rohu or salmon, 2 buys per week. Ask your doctor for vitamin test. Deficiency mimics dementia. Homocysteine level, linked to brain fog. TSH, to rule out thyroid problems. MRI only if multiple signs worsen together. Let me tell you this plainly. I've seen people recover from early mental slowness with lifestyle alone, but not when they waited too long. The sooner you respond, the stronger your mind remains. Now another clue that's often brushed off. The voice. Yes, the human voice. Your own. It becomes quieter, more breathy, even shaky. You might start repeating yourself to be heard, or you might speak less altogether because your throat tires quickly. This is not just about age or weakness. Often it's a result of weakening diaphragm or chest muscles, dehydrated vocal cords, early Parkinsonian signs, neurological control issues. Voice changes have been noted in studies as a potential predictor of mortality because it reflects both respiratory and neurological health solutions. Practice deep, slow breathing from the diaphragm twice daily. Hume for 5 minutes each morning to stimulate voice muscles. Sip warm water with ginger slices to keep vocal cords hydrated. Avoid yelling, whispering, or clearing throat aggressively. Use steam inhalation once a day if dryness is felt. Strengthen lungs by gently blowing into a straw placed in a glass of water for 2 minutes. It's a simple lung exercise. If the voice gets too soft, consult an ENT or neurologist. Early Parkinson's signs are better managed in the first 6 months than later. Now, let's talk about skin, but not in the way most people think. Skin that changes color unevenly, palms that grow pale, fingernails that show vertical ridges, white beds or a bluish tint, skin that becomes paper-thin or mottled in patches. These aren't just cosmetic issues. They are circulatory and oxygenation markers. They signal anemia, poor oxygen delivery, nutrient absorption failure, silent kidney or heart issues, vascular aging. If your skin feels unusually dry no matter how much lotion you apply, the issue is likely internal. What helps? Increase hydration through warm herbal teas and electrolyte-rich drinks like coconut water if no kidney issue. Eat foods rich in iron, soaked raisins, blackstrap molasses, pumpkin seeds or small amounts of red meat if allowed. Get hemoglobin levels checked. Include foods rich in vitamin E, sunflower seed almonds, soaked, and ghee in moderation. Practice gentle body brushing before bath to stimulate skin renewal. Use natural oils like sesame or almond oil post-bath for sealing moisture. Let me give you a truth most doctors won't tell you when the body starts retreating from life. It begins at the edges. Feet, hands, skin. The outermost parts suffer first. Watch your nails. Watch your palms. They whisper what the heart can't yet say. Also monitor the eyes. Do they seem dull, unfocused, or watery even when there's no emotion involved? Does light bother you more now? Are you blinking less or staring more? These can indicate deeper metabolic or neurological concerns, including low thyroid, liver trouble, or even subtle seizures. I recommend eye checkup every 8 months after 65. Check for macular degeneration and intraocular pressure. Reduce screen time to less than 1 hour per day, if not absolutely necessary. Blink consciously 10 times every 30 minutes. Practice palming. Rub palms together and gently cup over eyes for rest. Add carrots, spinach, and soaked walnuts for eye health. Let's keep flowing with one last clue in this segment. Temperature sensitivity. If you suddenly can't handle cold or heat like before, if you're always shivering when others are comfortable, if your feet feel cold to the touch even in blankets, this signals poor circulation, possible thyroid dysfunction, or impaired autonomic regulation. It might be your body's thermostat is failing. What helps? Dry massage limbs with warm towels in the morning. Avoid exposure to fans or AC directly. Soak feet in warm water with rock salt at bedtime. Check TSH, cortisol and ferritin levels. Practice ankle rotation, gentle jumping, if allowed, and palm rubbing 3 times a day. None of these are random. They are small cracks in the wall, cracks we can seal before the structure weakens completely. These early signs, balance problems, memory slip, skin warnings, voice changes, cold limbs, might look like scattered puzzle pieces, but when we lay them together we start seeing a fuller picture, one that requires attention before it becomes irreversible. More signs await, and stronger protective steps are still ahead. Now allow yourself to notice something far deeper. The rhythm of your breath. Is it steady, or does it sometimes feel shortened, even while sitting? Do you find yourself sighing more or taking unintentional pauses between words when you speak? These may not seem alarming, but breathing, your most silent companion, when disrupted, can reveal a fast-approaching turn. In many older patients, I've seen early breath changes go ignored. They weren't gasping or wheezing. They simply stopped singing their favorite songs, stopped walking while speaking, or started sleeping propped up with pillows. These subtle changes point toward hidden respiratory decline, rising fluid in the lungs, early cardiac decompensation, or even beginning fibrosis. To assess this gently at home, try this. Place your palm on your chest, and inhale through your nose, then exhale slowly through the mouth. If your chest rises more than your belly, you are chest breathing, a stress pattern. If you struggle to exhale fully, your lungs may not be clearing well. If you can't complete a slow 10-count exhale, your capacity is already reduced. What helps? Practice deep belly breathing, 3 minutes morning, 3 minutes night. Sit in fresh air facing east, best between 7–9 a.m. Avoid heavy meals after 7 p.m. to reduce upward pressure on lungs. Add warm soup made with black pepper, turmeric, ginger, and cumin to clear mild congestion. Check oxygen saturation with a pulse oximeter. Below 94 consistently is a concern. If possible, perform a 6-minute walk test with supervision and record pulse and oxygen drop. In case of recurring breathlessness, always rule out heart issues alongside lung ones. Ask for an ECG, echocardiogram, BNP blood test, and spirometry. These can tell what your chest is trying to say long before it shouts in emergency. Another deeply concerning but under-recognized sign is voice memory loss. Not the mind, but your voice forgetting its expression. People start using fewer emotional words, their tone flat, they speak more in yes or no. This isn't just sadness, it often reflects neurological slowdown, dopamine decline, or advancing emotional fatigue. To reawaken this area, call a grandchild and tell them a full story, not just the ending. Try reading old diary entry aloud. Rewatch a favorite movie and narrate its scene aloud. Practice gratitude affirmations out loud every morning. The idea is this: we don't only lose words, we forget how to color them. And that coloring of life matters. Now I want to gently guide you into something more emotional: detachment from purpose. Elders I've seen begin to deteriorate when they no longer feel they're needed. When the feeling of usefulness dies, the will to live fades behind it. And that, my dear friend, is often the most dangerous illness of all. So how do we restore purpose? Mentor someone younger. Share your career experience, your parenting lessons. Write letters to people in your family, even if they don't reply. Donate time to a cause, even if from home. Call a local mosque, church, or food charity and ask if they need calls made, records typed. Grow a small garden and teach a child about it, even through a phone call. Purpose is not about changing the world. It's about knowing that someone sleeps easier tonight because of something you said or did. There's another sign often spoken with discomfort: sudden loss of appetite for beauty. You don't open the curtain, you don't wear your favorite scarf, you let your nails grow untrimmed. This disinterest isn't always depression. Sometimes it's biochemical, a shift in neurotransmitters that reduces dopamine, serotonin, and sensory pleasure. To restore your joy, wear clothes that make you feel warm, not just covered. Sit under sunlight for 10 minutes with eyes closed. It recharges the pineal gland. Smell real jasmine, cardamom. Natural aromatics improve emotional recall. Listen to nasheeds or quiet spiritual music for 15 minutes every afternoon. Life should still feel beautiful, even at 70, even at 90. Another quiet, deadly sign is social withdrawal. You stop attending gatherings, even family ones. You answer fewer phone calls. You say, "I'm just tired," but the real reason is, connection feels exhausting. This can be emotional exhaustion, but it can also be early metabolic decline, mood disruption, or immune fatigue. Limit screen use. Blue light disrupts circadian rhythm and amplifies isolation. Schedule 3 social moments per week, even short ones. Cook 1 meal weekly and share it with someone. Try to pray, meditate, or journal aloud with a partner or neighbor. Human touch, physical or emotional, reactivates life chemistry. Lastly, let's talk about sleep. Not insomnia alone, but fragmented, shallow, dreamless sleep. This is often the body's cry that hormonal rhythms are fading, that immune rest cycles are off, or that internal anxiety is rising. And when sleep weakens, everything else, heart, memory, immunity, mood, begins to collapse behind it. Fixing sleep is never just about pills, it's about rhythm. Wake at same time daily, ideally with sunrise. Eat last meal before sunset or at least 3 hours before lying down. Bathe your feet in warm water before bed. Read from a peaceful book, even 1 page. Use magnesium-rich foods, banana, pumpkin seed, soaked almonds. No screens 90 minutes before bed. Cover or dim every light in the room, even charger lights disrupt melatonin. Let silence be your lullaby. Use only soft white noise if needed. Use a prayer mat, soft rug, or wooden floor for a short seated reflection before lying down. It closes your day with meaning. Let me tell you something simple but forgotten. Sleep is not the absence of noise, it's the presence of peace. And peace must be prepared, not hoped for. Every sign I've shared with you, from voice and breath to memory and muscle, is part of a quiet warning system. Not to scare you, but to help you listen while the whispers are still soft. Because if we notice the whispers early, we may never have to hear the scream. And now that you've read this far, I want to say something from the heart. We spent hours creating this guide, hours reflecting on real lives, on silent signs, and the invisible clock that many don't hear until it's late. But for you, for those still ready to hold on, there's always a path forward. So allow me to leave you with a simple encouragement. Start drinking water from a copper vessel daily. That small habit may boost your digestion, immunity, and mental clarity, more than 99% of things you'll ever hear on the internet. And if any part of this video made your day wiser or made your tomorrow safer, then help us keep going. You'll find a link in the comments and in the description, a way to support this work so we can keep reaching others who need it even more. Or better yet, share this with one elder you know. Sometimes what we give returns as what keeps us here longer. Stay safe, Stay sharp, and may you walk each step with dignity.